I'm tired of? I'm tired of people being afraid of vulnerability and then ruining the moment because they're so afraid of being
Preach,
rejected.
sister.
If you're going to say I love you, put your balls in your hand and fucking say it and own up to it, because don't ruin my fucking moment. Don't ruin my moment because you're a little pussy bitch.
And the balls are cupped.
And if you have big balls, 2 hands if you have to. Okay.
Chemical X.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Chemical X podcast. I don't even have to tell you what this episode is going to be about, but my name's Alessia.
My name's Veronica, and if you haven't already, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Tell us how much you love us. Wish us a happy Valentine's Day, and leave us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts and Spotify.
Veronica, they're wishing their girlfriends happy Valentine's Day, not us. Okay?
Okay. Well, they could wish us too. Okay.
Okay.
Come on. There's room for everyone. So today we have a hot topic. It's controversial for some reason. In my opinion, the easiest holiday. It's Valentine's Day. Like you said, if you can't tell, we're in 50 Shades of Pink.
We've been about love.
We've been about l'amour.
Yeah.
So are you a Valentine's Day? Oh, man, I'm getting comfy.
We love an extra holiday, just a cute one.
To get gifts.
Yeah, we love an extra holiday to get gifts. So I'm not complaining. I'm not complaining if I'm single, and I'm definitely not complaining if I'm in a relationship.
Absolutely not. I mean, people who complain about Valentine's Day when you're single, shut the fuck up.
Just grow up, okay?
Just close your eyes for one day and move on. Like, what do you want me to say? Like, sorry that you hate everyone.
Yeah, like let the people who are in love have their day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And also, like, look, I'll give you my opinion because you didn't ask me how I feel, but I'll just give it anyways because my co-host doesn't care about me and my
I would have
feelings.
asked you if I, cared.
But I don't. I'm not your Valentine, so. But I need to let my Valentine know how I feel about Valentine's Day.
Okay, sorry.
On this podcast, by the way, we do a lot of subliminal messaging. Like, we talk about stuff and it's like directed
are
at
you
one person.
listening? So Veronica, I know your man's listening. How do you feel about Valentine's Day?
How do I feel about Valentine's Day?
She had to reread that one to herself, but
I
she
know
knew
my
what she
answer.
wanted to say.
So, personally, I love a good holiday. I love a good excuse to get a gift, give a gift, celebrate. And Valentine's Day is one of those for me. I do feel like over the years, though, because in the past, my boyfriends weren't so big on Valentine's Day that I kind of had to like not be so excited
Dim
for
your
it.
light on that holiday.
Dim my light because or else I would be disappointed. So I felt like I just kind of had to like not care so much, which to be fair, it's not a holiday that like ruins my life if I don't celebrate it. But still, it's always fun to have that extra little,
That's that one man who said, who even cares about Valentine's Day? And you're like, yeah, no, seriously, like say it. Like, I don't,
what the
really
fuck?
care.
V-Day? Ugh.
But then when all your friends are in relationships and they're getting the cute stuff and you got nothing, you're like, I don't really care.
But it's because you know what?
But like every girl cares.
If you're gonna tell me that as a girl and you walk into a room full of roses and a bottle of champagne that you're gonna say what? I hate Valentine's Day. Like I find people that have that opinion, it's just because you haven't been spoiled on Valentine's Day, so you have no choice but to say like fuck Valentine's Day.
Exactly.
Because anyone who's gonna get something or get a gift or be celebrated is gonna end up liking it. They're gonna enjoy themselves.
Amen.
Oh my God, I'm starting off on a heated note. Jeez Louise. Who hurt me?
Holy, are you okay? And I don't blame the girls for, being in a relationship with somebody who kind of, says, who cares? It ain't shit. And then you have to kind of go with it because you never want to be the girl who's also like convincing your boyfriend, like,
Buy
I
me
care about
something.
it. But also like stand up for yourself. If you love the holiday and you're with someone who's like, it's not even a big deal. So if it's not a big deal, then get me the roses and get me the chocolates.
100%.
Like it's so little effort and you're just being lazy if you don't do it.
Well, I was saying this before the episode is Valentine's Day, guys.
It's also not about how much money you spend on Valentine's Day.
Valentine's Day is the easiest holiday to not fuck up because there's no standard for gifts. Literally, you can make a girl happy by just showing up with one rose, one little teddy bear. There's no like you have to go big or go home. It's like it's just showing the appreciation, planning a cute picnic, going skating. Anything that you do on Valentine's Day works because as soon as you acknowledge that it's Valentine's Day and just like put even 2% effort involved,
Like we always say,
you win.
women, we ask for the Bare minimum.
Bare minimum. Bare minimum. Okay. Let me know next time what I need to finish your sentence with. But like, I just feel like it's the easiest fucking holiday. Like, don't give me no fucking excuse of like, I don't like Valentine's Day. Bitch, go to the pharmacy, get your little heart-shaped boxes of chocolate.
Hold on. Are we happy with that though? So it's Valentine's Day and you're getting a gift from your man. What's something you would want to receive? Because we can all say, you know, you pass by a pharmacy, you get the hard chocolates with the teddy bear, and you're just like every other couple.
Look,
Depends what chocolates.
personally, I think, okay, you're showing up with something, you're acknowledging the holiday, you're putting
Yeah.
effort, yes. But as somebody who like values gifts and like gift giving is one of my love languages, for you to show up with the Dollarama heart-shaped box of chocolates, it actually tells me you don't love me because you didn't put effort into doing something that I might like. You know what I mean? So I think for me, I would be like a little disappointed, but at least you're acknowledging the fact that the holiday exists, because there's been many Valentine's Days that I got zero. I didn't even get the heart-shaped box of chocolate.
Okay. So what in a perfect world is a perfect gift? Because if they can't get you chocolate and a teddy bear, what should they be getting you?
Girls for Valentine's Day, they only want one thing.
I mean, it's not hard. I mean,
if it's dick, hopefully it is. But there's one other thing that girls want on Valentine's Day, and it's just a nice piece of jewelry.
And where can you go for that? Every Jewels.
100%, because they have actually not only jewelry, but accessories, tote bags, phone cases, everything to make your girl smile. And if she's a trendy girl, you can find literally so many things to get her. And it's also affordable. So I'm sure that, you know, if you're on a bit of a budget this year on Valentine's Day, you will definitely make your girl smile.
Guys, chocolates and teddy bears are just not going to cover it anymore. We want jewelry, and we don't want just any jewelry. We want every Jewels. So use our discount code ChemicalX at checkout to receive 20% off your entire order.
So Chemical X at checkout for 20% off at everyjewels.com.
Like something sentimental?
I think sentimental is cute. I think Valentine's Day is a really good holiday to do something like custom made, or like something about the both of you. If you want to do an expensive gift, like a really nice piece of jewelry that's like sentimental, or like getting like a painting done, getting like something custom done, going on like an experience, like even like I think a cute way to. I also think Valentine's Day doesn't need to be really gifts. It can also be like
An
we're
experience.
going to like the spa, or like I'm taking to you one night in a hotel, or like we're going for a nice dinner. Like,
Yeah.
I think Valentine's Day, you have the ability to do those things. It doesn't always need to be a gift, you know?
Yeah, but normally the people who bring you to a hotel or do the spa,
Yeah.
there's a gift that comes with.
I mean, like for Valentine's Day, I like roses, and I like
Yeah.
a nice something that you plan. That for me shows like you care. You're taking the time out of your day. I don't really expect a gift on Valentine's
Yeah.
Day.
So I'm like a bit different in the sense where I don't
You're
really
different. You're different than the other girls.
I'm sure a lot of girls don't care about flowers. I'm not the only girl.
So you don't care about flowers.
I don't really care about flowers.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
My mom always says it's something that when I get older, it'll change. I don't know. For me, like flowers have never really been something that was like, wow, like thank
Yeah.
you so much. I know my ex would always send them to work and I'd be like, oh my God, now I have to go get them. I have to get through everyone. Like, this is so embarrassing.
How embarrassing is it to get flowers sent at work?
I just like, I get what the guy is doing, but it's like, you don't know what you're doing to me. Don't send the flowers
Yeah.
or give them to me after.
But some girls love it. They're gonna walk around the whole office with their bouquet. They're gonna take the whole
like, I
detour
don't-
just so everyone sees.
Yes. Okay. So that's what I mean. There's
Yeah.
two types of people.
There's
Like,
two
I
types of
just
people.
don't think flowers excites me. Like, I would rather definitely like a spa date. I would rather a gift, hands down.
Yeah.
Because it's like, then I'll always have it.
Yeah.
Flowers, it's like they die. So it's like, what are you letting me know? Like, our relationship's going to die? You know what I mean? No. But like, I'm happy with chocolates. I just think it's not original.
Yeah. But if
But like, also, like, give me the chocolates and the experience. And the gift.
Yeah. But if your man shows up with a bouquet of roses for
Look,
Valentine's Day,
I'm not a fucking
But are
evil witch. Thank you so much.
you don't even know me. No, but like, would you be disappointed? Because if somebody knew
No.
that I didn't like flowers and they showed up with flowers, I would be like, okay, well, do you even listen to me?
Okay, yes, but I wouldn't be disappointed. I wouldn't look so
Deeply
into it.
into
I
it.
just think a lot of the times people do things because they think that that's what they need to do. So it's like, I'm not going to get mad at my dad if he gets me flowers, and he might have heard me say like, I'm
Yeah.
not a huge flower guy. But my ex turned the whole, he like made a flower bouquet out of chocolates because he knew I didn't like flowers. So it's like, yeah, when you listen, it's a lot cuter for sure. But look,
My problem is I'm picky. You do anything nice for me and I'm scrutinizing it because it's not the right nice thing. Like you got me flowers, but it's like, why'd you choose those? Do you know what I mean? Like that's my problem. Is like I'm so picky that it's like I don't even deserve these gifts. Like I get a bouquet and I'm like,
do you not
Don't
know how my
love.
house is? Like the color
Yeah.
scheme here. Why'd you go get me fucking blue?
yeah, 100%. I like my two favorite flowers for anybody listening for future,
AKA
write it
my
down,
guy.
everybody. Roses and tulips. And I love when everything is the same in like the bouquet. You know, it's like all one color of roses.
And I hate when there's like when like you're trying to make a bouquet at like at a cheaper cost. So there's a lot of grass in between. Like cut the grass. Like show me how much you love
Yeah.
me with the amount of roses you
Put
have.
the 3 roses in their basket and call it a day.
You know what I mean? Like I'd rather you actually come with individual, like one rose,
Yeah.
than like 4 mixed in this huge bouquet that's like full of this.
100%.
Nah, forget it.
I totally agree with you.
She doesn't want flowers, but if you're gonna do them,
No grass.
do them nice. I prefer preserved
Yeah, 'cause
roses.
it's
I think
nice.
that's a lot better than something that dies and that I have to take care of it. It's like you getting me a dog I didn't ask for and now I have to take care of it.
Like
Like
both die, I guess. Jeez, what the fuck?
that's how flowers are.
She just related flowers to a dog.
It's cute. It can.
Decor.
It's decor.
Yeah,
That's
I agree.
The word.
I do love those. So what do you think about the girlies that send themselves flowers? Because we all know one.
Oh wow, yo, we know what. Are you okay?
Who hurt you? And I get it. Love yourself. Send flowers to yourself. I get it.
You have 364 days to do that.
But like also when I want flowers, I march my little ass to the florist down my street.
Little?
Subjective. Buy them and walk them back and put them in a. I'm not paying the $20 extra to get them delivered so I could open the door and say, "Ooh, wonder who these must be from." They're from me.
No.
Like it's one
who
thing
are-
to buy flowers for yourself, but to ship them to your house.
No. But why? I need to understand
And the note
why.
always says something like.
But do we think that that's being done for like some social media stunt to let someone know, maybe an ex or something, that somebody's getting them flowers? Or are you saying in the social media post, from me to me? No, you're not.
you're not.
So you're doing it for other reasons
Yeah.
than for yourself.
Toxic.
Because if you were doing it for yourself, you do it on the other 364 days.
100%.
I also think like let the people who are in relationships have that day. I know that sounds mean, but like, you know what? No. If you want to love yourself and you want to get yourself flowers, just
Love
go
yourself.
get them. Don't ship them.
Yeah, just don't pay the extra shipping fee. Like the florists, they're busy with people that are in relationships. Like you could walk, you could walk to the florist. Okay, you're good.
Well, they're busy enough. Like just leave them alone that day.
But like, I don't know. For me, it's like to put that much. Look, to each their own. If it makes you feel good, ship yourself the fucking. Pay the extra $20. Send me flowers while you're at it.
And do you prefer to get them in person or have them delivered? Because I feel like I've had both of those instances happen to me, and I actually prefer delivery, to be
I prefer
honest.
delivery.
You have a second to take it in. Oh, read
It's
the
cuter.
note. It's cuter than like having to read the note with them there and like, I don't
But
know.
it's always like this though. And you're like,
I like the moment of being alone.
I like the alone. I like the surprise. You get the time to like
Yeah.
be excited. They don't exactly know when you're getting them too. So it's like you can call and like let them know you received
Yeah.
them. I think flower delivery is really cute and I personally way prefer it that way. And it also
1000%.
shows me that you plan this. Whereas like showing up and stuff like look, it's
Listen,
still cute to get. No. I'm just saying.
People are going to be like, not only did I plan it, I drove my ass there.
So for me, something that's really important when it comes to gifts is showing that you actually plan something. So when I see that somebody like got me something so quick, I know that they went today and got it and like who cares? That for me bothers me. Like no matter what it is, the fact that like you didn't plan it in advance bothers me. When it's like last minute or like a reservation, like I could tell that you got us a reservation at a place that was what was available because you waited too long to make a reservation. That shit bothers me. So now it's like, okay, we're going for dinner, but I'm already bothered because what I was looking for was effort and you're not showing me that you're doing effort. You're just doing something to do it. Does that make sense?
No,
And
I
that's
get
why I
it.
don't deserve anything because I'm too picky.
I get it. I just don't care that much.
I don't know. I'm big on like meaning. I'm big on
Right.
like thoughtfulness.
But the thing is how would you know that they would like, let's say, book a restaurant last minute?
because it's the restaurant that they booked.
Yeah, no, fair.
You get what I'm saying? Like when you're going to a restaurant that you're like,
But I also don't look at Valentine's Day where it's like it needs to be 3 weeks ahead planned. Like,
No.
okay, you can call the day before I make a reso. I don't
like-
really care. You put in the effort. I don't care if it's the day before.
last year on Valentine's Day, I got brought to a restaurant. I was like, yeah, we'll just show up. Like my friend's gonna give us a table,
Okay, well,
and
yeah.
I was like, okay, like you could have put more effort.
okay,
into
fair.
this. You know,
I
what
guess
I
you
mean?
just had bad experience.
Like it was the type of restaurant where like all the single people are going.
okay.
Tell me you know what I mean.
Yeah,
like it's not like
yeah.
the role. They don't have a Valentine's
Like all
Day
the
menu.
Valentine's Day people.
Yeah, like they're all there, and I'm like,
Like,
what am I doing here?
all the people who are not in relationships trying to act like, bitch, this is so much better when they all wish they were in relationships.
100%.
Doing Valentine's Day.
I was doing it with them,
That's
with my
nice.
boyfriend.
That's so nice.
It's so nice. But guys, I feel you. The singles, I feel you.
So my ex was a hopeless romantic, and I'm not really.
Okay.
Which I think sometimes, opposites attract.
I feel like in a relationship, actually, there's always one that's more romantic.
There's always
Never
one.
even.
There's always one who gets life and just sees life from a normal point of view, and there's always one that's like living in some fantasy where like
there's always one where you're like, you put your jacket and like there's a note in the pocket and it's like, you are the sky to my moon, and I don't live a day without feeling you inside me. And it's just like, okay, I'm
It's
cold.
just
I was
like-
looking for my keys.
like yeah. And so my ex was very into the whole write her a nice poem that rhymes that she's really gonna appreciate. And it's like,
Get me a Cartier.
look, Cartier has beautiful, beautiful love bracelets. And believe me, I will think you love me.
You can write it on the Cartier little note that they give, your poem.
And I personally feel like if you are writing me a poem, short and sweet, please. Don't make this a fucking novel. Like, I get it. You're really trying to show your rhyme, so it's like, keep going, bust the rhyme. But like, okay.
at some point, the rhymes, they don't get so good.
They don't get so good. There's always one that hits, and then the next
And
one
you're
I
like,
see you had to find a
yeah,
word.
you
So
really
it's
have
like,
to, like-
oh, it works, but
You're
doesn't
like,
really.
okay. And then you're like, you're not even tearing up anymore because you're thinking about like what other word you would have used instead of that one.
100%.
Personally, I really like I like when somebody writes me a letter. I don't like
I'm gonna write her a
poems.
letter.
Poems for me are like, okay, Shakespeare, like sit down. But like a letter of like, hey, like that for me is really cute and really personal. And,
Yes.
like, I find I'm way more like emotionally
Veronica.
affected by a letter than a poem.
Because a letter is like, tell me how you feel.
Tell me and don't rhyme it.
And because sometimes a poem, it's like you're almost like hiding behind it.
oh yeah, it's read between the lines.
It's read between the lines.
It's you are the sun to my sky.
Yeah. Why? Why
Just
can't
tell
I
me-
be the reason you're breathing?
I love a good handwritten letter. I love a good handwritten letter.
Yeah.
I'm somebody that I know I just made fun of the notes in the pocket girl, but that's me. I'm a liar on this podcast. That's me. I leave the notes, and I used to do it a lot in like my older relationships, but I find over the years, like when you stop getting reciprocated for doing things, you end up stop doing them without realizing. And I look now at myself and I'm like, wow, I used to do so many more cute things, but I think like just being in the relationships with the wrong people, like you stop doing those things and then like the next person kind of loses out on that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I used to be like a have a good day heart in the lunchbox.
Well, you could always still go back to that.
Be aware. Self-awareness. That's what we preach on this podcast. Speaking of Valentine's Day, okay? It's the holiday of love. It's the day of love. In a new relationship, when do you tell somebody that you love them? When's the right moment?
Well, we can talk all the shit we want on this podcast. Nobody knows until they're in the relationship.
So after 2 days?
No.
So there's a wrong moment.
I mean, look, is it after 2 days, but you guys have been friends for 8 years? Oh, I'm
Okay,
so annoying.
shut
I'm like a
up.
Karen right now.
Oh
like,
my God.
Like,
don't-
realistically,
like-
okay. I mean, realistically, I don't think anyone really says I love you after 2 days, but that's just been my experience. If that's happened, then that's love bombing. But
Yeah. I mean, and we'll get into that very shortly after the commercial
how
break.
do you know you love somebody?
Commercial break. I'm throwing in this commercial break. Please put the commercial after this.
I was literally going to put the sponsor. I was like, that's perfect. It's Valentine's Day, guys. And as girls, we never ask for much.
I mean, we do. We ask for much.
I mean, listen, if your balls aren't trimmed, then yeah, I guess we're asking for much.
If you're showing up with no roses and a bush, we have an issue.
Like, the only bush I want to see.
Is the bush of roses.
Absolutely.
That's what you should be, snipping. And once you're done snipping that rose bush, you better be going down there with your Manscaped because we want a nice, smooth bouquet of balls. So guys, Manscaped is the best in below the waist grooming for men. So join over 2 million men worldwide, 2 million that are giving their girls smooth balls because they have everything you need. Ball razor, ball toner, ball deodorant, smell good, be soft.
And look good.
I was going to say get your dick sucked, but whatever.
Okay.
Okay.
So guys, head on to manscaped.com and use our discount code ChemicalX at checkout to receive 20% off and free shipping, guys. Be mine. Be Manscaped.
You always come out with these models. Where does this girl get this shit from? Be mine, be Manscaped.
Wait. Be Manscaped.
So I think there is like a perfect time, but it's to each their own relationship.
subjective.
And it depends how fast your relationship progresses. But I also think there's like a time where it's too long. Like for me, if after like when I hear of people that have been dating a year and they haven't said I love you, and I'm sorry if you're listening and that's you, like that's just weird to me.
Well, at that point, I don't know how it hasn't slipped out because
Whoa.
I would just slip it out a million times by
you.
mistake.
It's so hard not to say I love you.
I totally agree with you.
It's actually more
Especially
work
if you're
to say it, to
spending,
not say it.
If you're spending so much time with someone, it's like eventually, like you say it to your friends, like
Yeah.
it comes out. It almost feels so natural and feels so right that you're not like even thinking about it, that it happens.
Exactly. And like, is there a specific way that you would want somebody to tell you that they love you?
I think it's one of those things where I wouldn't want it to be a whole poem, sit down. I think it would just want like I would just want it to be something that's like naturally happening, that I do something crazy or silly or dorky and they'll just be like it's you, like I love you. Like I don't need it
so
to be, you know what I
cute.
mean? Like I don't need it to be anything
Yeah.
crazy.
I think it's just about the right moments. Like there are times for me, like in relationships where and everybody has those times. It's different for everyone, but like you have this like sense of closeness that's so strong and you're like, it's those moments where it's like on the tip of your tongue. It's more like intimate. And I know this is controversial, but like right after sex or like in like a really like intense makeout, but it's very controversial. And I actually have a question for you. Does it still count if you say I love you, but during sex?
I have two feelings about it.
Good. We have a podcast.
My first feeling is it just hasn't come out and you've been nervous about saying it. And sometimes, saying I love you in an intimate setting is just easier because you don't really get as rejected when you're having sex. Like, okay, maybe somebody won't answer you and say I love you too, but like it's
the heat of the moment.
the heat of the moment, right? Whereas like if you're sitting down and you're like, I love you, and then someone just is like, thank you, and they don't say anything back, it's a bit more, weird.
I mean, look, if you're hitting me from the back in doggy style and you pull out an I love you, like, what the fuck? Like, you just ruined the moment. It's not sentimental at all. But if it's like a close, like, we're making love and then you like tell me you love me, I think that counts. But if you're just like, oh, I love you, and my leg is over the ceiling and like my face is in the pillow, like, come on.
Right.
You don't love me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I do think a lot of people slip it out because.
But I
during
also think a lot of people say it. I don't think sometimes it's like you'll say it during sex and then you'll catch them never saying it again. And sometimes when someone is loving and enjoying sex so much, it could slip out and they can not necessarily mean it. That's why I think it's really tricky when someone says I love you when you're having sex. Because
totally
it could
agree.
really go two ways.
The emotions are so high and it's such an intense, intimate moment
Yeah.
already that you're feeling some type of way for anyone that you're having sex with. And especially as a woman, apparently, I'm pretty sure like after a woman has an orgasm, we release like a different chemical from men and we're like way more like emotionally attached. I don't remember what the chemical is, but like apparently like women release more of that like love uh hormone. So like we're a lot more like in that lovey stage. And it's so true. Like you could tell somebody you love them and then like, you know,
It's kind of like
10
that
minutes
post.
after sex, you're like, I know I said what I
It's kind of like that
said.
post nut clarity with like coming.
Yeah.
Like in the moment, you're like, it feels so good. You're just like, I love her. But like,
Yeah.
it doesn't always mean that.
Yeah. No.
But you'll know the difference with exactly how Veronica said, how it's happening in the bedroom. But I definitely think the first time is cute when it's in a situation that doesn't necessarily have to be sexual.
Yeah. So I also think the right time, like if you're looking for like I think if you want to say it, I think there's certain signs that you could look for in a relationship. Like I think people will start to be more will use different like words with you and like will tend to be like a little more open with you or will like say things that like kind of mean I love you but in a different way. You know what I mean? Like when somebody's
What are the
really caring
ways?
about you. Well, for me, one thing that
Every girl who's waiting for their man to say I love you is like, let me hear the words. Let me hear if
100%.
I've heard them.
So, and this is just what I think, but personally for me, when somebody starts calling me like my love or like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I think when you start a relationship, it's like, babe, baby, that's my girl. But then like you progress. And then as soon as somebody starts calling you my love, that for me is like, oh, okay.
It's coming.
You're taking the L word. So like, it's coming. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like that for me is like a sign because if you really didn't want to say it, you wouldn't be bringing that up at all. So I feel like it's like they're testing the waters of
Yes.
like, can I get away with saying this? I think it's also certain things, you know, like being attuned to you and like caring about you. Like you can always tell when somebody's feelings for you are a little bit deeper because they're like more concerned for you and like how your day is going. If something happens, like you can really feel the difference when somebody is like more there for you. But it's the tricky slope between being in love and just like having love for someone. So I think like once you're really in love, that's when you say I love you. But like you could still love somebody and not necessarily be like in love with them. You know
Here
what I
we
mean?
go.
Here we
What's
go.
the difference between loving someone and being in love with someone?
I also think that when you feel like it's coming, I think you guys have a lot of moments where it's like that quiet kind of like that intimate, like looking in each other's eyes and like
Yeah.
you could tell that you guys are like talking to each other in
Yeah.
your minds and kind of like, are you feeling what I'm feeling? But
Yeah.
like it's unspoken. And I think once you start having those moments, then it's like, okay, we're kind of
Would
opening
you-
up to each other
Yeah.
without saying anything.
Would you say I love you first?
In the past, I have,
And how was that?
and I would never do it again.
You would never do it again?
So the first time I ever told a guy I loved him, it was actually on Christmas, and I wrote it at the end of a Christmas card. Cheapo shot to do it like that.
Wow.
But like I wrote it in the Christmas card, and I wrote like I love you, and then he sent it back to me, and it was fine. My second boyfriend after that, don't remember what happened, but I did have a boyfriend that, you know, I had felt like it was on the tip of my tongue for so long, I couldn't hold it back. Like for me, it was like all the signs were there, like. He had even like twice like accidentally said I love you when he was drunk. I never knew if he remembered, but for me I was like, okay, I have the satisfaction knowing that he loves me.
Because technically, you know,
Drunk minds,
drunk
speak sober
minds,
thoughts.
sober thoughts.
So I thought for sure I'm going into this like in the clear, like I got the validation I needed.
Yeah.
And there was so many times where I was like, for sure, like there's no way that he doesn't feel what I'm feeling, you know?
Yeah.
And then there was like a time that we were in bed. It was like a super intimate moment. And like we were talking about something. And then I was like, yeah, you know, like, I think I love you. And he had like answered back like, oh, really? Like, you do? Or something like that. And I was like, I mean, I guess like you don't. And he was like, oh, like, I don't know. Like, I mean, I guess it. And then he had said like, if there's anyone that I could love, it would be you. And I was like, and in that moment, I never wanted to die more in my life.
I mean,
like I wanted to die.
yeah, that'll scar you from ever saying it first again.
And he had said a couple of things. Like I know he had said that and had said something also like, wow, so like you really think you love me? Like kind of like shocked that I could love him or like that I felt that strongly. And I was like totally rethinking the whole relationship. I'm like, hey, am I fucking stupid?
Do you realize now that that was probably just like, it's not that he didn't love you, but it was just things he was battling within himself?
Maybe like it's an emotional availability thing, because I was so shocked and blindsided that happened. I was like, there's no way that this guy doesn't love me. And then after it happened, I just went in the bathroom and cried for like an hour. And then I came back and I was like, why don't you love me?
You pulled out the gun and you said, listen.
I said, I'm not leaving this room until you say it back. Like, I physically can't go on until you tell me.
Yeah.
But I was like, look.
At this point, even if he says it, you're hurt. But
I'm
like,
hurt. I
but
never
like-
got over it, but I'm still not over it.
yeah.
But it's just one of those things where it was like, I physically can't go on unless you tell me why you don't love me, or like, what the fuck? Because it was, it wasn't that like soon on or anything. I actually felt
And
like
also
it was
like
kind of
saying I
long.
love you is such a vulnerable feeling.
Yeah.
So even if you're not going to say it back, I love you, say it back, you have to at least kind of like take in what the person's saying and like have a conversation about it. Don't just
Yeah.
like brush it off. I think brushing it off is the problem.
Is the
like
problem.
communicating that like maybe you're not there but you're getting there, or like you really appreciate that you're opening up.
I mean,
I
either
really
way, I'm killing
look.
myself.
There's no way. There's no amazing way. But I think like just saying like, oh really, like that's fucking like douchey.
I know, and I think that was what hurt me so much. Like, and that's why I came back and I was like, I need an explanation. Like, I really didn't.
And
take
what
it
did you
well.
get as an explanation?
He was just like saying a bunch of stuff, and then he ended up with like, yeah, I mean, like, I guess I do love you then. And like for me, I was like, I guess I'll take it, but like I didn't feel better. Like it wasn't like.
And then after that, were you still saying I love you?
No, I think I waited. Like I didn't say it after
And
that.
then
like,
he
I
had
waited
said it.
for him to like say it again. But like it had really affected me, and still now to this day, like it traumatized me. And like as someone who I'm not so much of a vulnerable person, and to be in that vulnerable position and like get so rejected like that and have to force somebody to say something and then it just ruined it. I was like, I never want to feel the feeling that I felt that day ever again. So if I have to wait 2 years for somebody to tell me they love me, like I physically can't do that again, because for me it actually ruined a part of our relationship because that happened. Because for the course of time, like I didn't let it go for a long time. In the back of my mind, I never brought it up, but it would always be like, but like I feel like I forced you to love me. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like you had to tell me you loved me, and like maybe you didn't. And for me, he acted so much like he did love me that I was like, am I stupid? Like, am I
Yeah.
the one who fucked up here? You know what I mean?
Yeah. So I'm really like you gotta say it first type of thing. Even if I'm feeling it, I don't know. I won't go out of my way to say it first. But like my ex had said it first, and it would just like caught me off guard. And I was kind of, I guess, in your boyfriend situation where I was just like, I knew I really had feelings for him. And I think because it had happened so soon on in our relationship that I wasn't ready to say it back.
Which is fair in your situation for sure.
Yeah, because it was like 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Roughly 3 weeks within it happened in the bedroom. But it was like you were saying, very intimate. It wasn't
Right.
like doggy style or anything like that.
You're like,
And
it was,
like,
you know,
And I was
reverse
just
cowgirl.
like, I was caught off guard. And you know, in that situation, you kind of feel like you have to say it back. But I think what people don't understand is that it's also nice when people say I love you on their timeline. Like you also don't want to say I love you and hope for it back the second after because you said it.
yeah.
It's also nice when like someone says it and then like, you know, 3 days max later,
Oh, you're on a timeline.
there's like
though.
a reason why they're saying it, you
Yeah.
know? Sometimes it's like, yeah, it works. It's like, okay, well, it's been a build up. We both wanted to
Yeah.
say it like fair. But sometimes it's like, what if they planned on doing it? Or like, you know, there's always moments for people and why they like want to say it when they want to say it.
for sure.
But I also think if you're like emotionally connected and like on the same page, it should happen on the same day.
I think if you
should happen on
waited-
the same second.
I think if you waited the allotted amount of time that it's like now we're in the range of when you say I love you.
Yeah.
Then it's like I feel like you should both be at a point where you're saying it at the same time. When it happens on a different timeline, like a little earlier on, where like you're kind of not expecting it, I think it's fair to not expect.
And that was my situation. I was just like, whoa, like I was caught off guard. I was like, I'm not even like, this is so new, you know? But I think that's why we wanted to get into our next topic, which is love bombing. A lot of the times people will say I love you really early on in a relationship because you know what love bombing is?
Well, for anybody that doesn't know what love bombing is,
Yes.
actually, love bombing is like when somebody very soon on in the relationship is very like excessive with like love and attention, and either like showering you with gifts, saying really, really nice things about you, telling you they love you, like just doing the most and
It's
showing
like-
the most
yeah.
extravagant amount of love too soon on.
Yeah, like it's almost like a manipulative tactic in which they make you kind of fall in love with them really soon on. All the problems that come afterwards are kind of dismissed because of all the love they gave you at the beginning. As anyone, you hold on to the greater, moments.
Yeah.
So you kind of just like disregard, or, he's just a good guy. Like that's just, you kind of almost accept the bad behavior because of all the love bombing they've done to you.
And like also another thing, guys, like if somebody is saying like, I've never met anybody like you, like you're the perfect person for me, like so soon on, like I'm talking like 1-2 weeks into like meeting you, like those are things that should be like red flags in your mind to look out for. And obviously, yes, those are things that could be said, but like it's things that you should look out for. If somebody is like so vulnerable and open to you when you don't know somebody after 2 weeks, realistically.
And you have to think about it. You're just talking to someone, it's 2 weeks, and they're saying I love you. What do they love about you?
Yeah.
Like I think I love that whole, what do you love about me? If someone's gonna say it so soon on, then what are the reasons for you loving me?
Exactly.
Because I feel like most of the time when it's said so early on, I have to think that it's more of like a physical appearance
impulse also.
impulse. It's them trying to mask something else.
Yeah. I think it definitely has to do a lot with just like the rush of a new relationship, because you don't know somebody after 2 weeks realistically. So
I
how
personally
can
think
really
like you
love
only
them?
learn to love someone once you go through like hard times with them too.
Right.
In a way.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
it doesn't have to be
well,
like,
you also learn more about them for sure.
yeah, like it doesn't have to be like fucking deep. You have to go through a death together.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I mean? You have to like learn to like different parts of someone and not just be in the honeymoon stage where it's like all rainbows and
Rainbows.
right. I mean, yeah.
It's raining balls. Cue the Manscaped ad. But no, love bombing is definitely like used as a manipulation tactic. And that's the questions you have to ask yourself is like, why do you love me? First of all, like, why are you saying all these things? Like, is it to get me in like a space where like you suck me in and I'm like locked in, and then you could do whatever you want and you could switch up and you can be like a dick to me and you could be like super manipulative because I'm always keeping that standard of how you were in the beginning, and I always think like, oh, you're gonna come back to that, so it's a huge manipulation tactic and you really need to look out for it.
People who love bomb are normally insecure and they're lacking something in their life. I know it's like a lot of people will want them to be obsessed with them. So it's
Yeah.
like, how do I get someone to be obsessed with them even if I'm not going to date them?
Exactly.
It's like love bomb them.
Right.
But why do you want someone to be obsessed with you and you hurt them?
Because you only care about yourself.
Because you only care about yourself.
Right.
Which is, selfish.
Yeah. I mean, somebody who's like a narcissist or like whatever, that's
Yeah.
what they would do. You know what I mean? Because they don't care
But
about
I
the
also
other
think you're
person.
missing fulfillment from your life, that you feel like the only way to be fulfilled is to have people express their love for you. Meanwhile, you're not even open to it. So it's really like sad.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
So I think if you're on the other opposite stick where someone's love bombing you, just never think it's like you and that it's your fault. And just remember that the person who's doing it is actually dealing with the most.
But I do think that there's certain things, because it's kind of hard, obviously in the honeymoon stage, sometimes it could be really hard to differentiate between love bombing and just somebody who's being a nice person. It's very hard. So there are some things that I would say you should look out for. And I think it's like the pace of things and also the consistency. So somebody who's love bombing will do the most, but they won't keep it consistent. After 1 or 2 months, that whole act is going to disappear and they're going to start being a shitty person. Whereas that truly good guy or good person is going to consistently keep up those behaviors. And maybe, yeah, I'm sure like after the honeymoon stage and like the beginning dating stage, it's going to go down a little bit, but the consistency will still be there. So like
Yes.
if they do surprises for you and like gifts for you, that's still going to happen 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months down the line. Whereas somebody who's love bombing you, they're
just
going to switch up.
They're doing that to get you to commit. The second you commit, the second you commit, that's when it kind of changes.
Yes. The second they have you, the second you like submit to them and they have you, they feel like they have you, that's when shit starts changing. You know what I mean? I also think another sign of love bombing could be when somebody uses what they do against you. So like using it like, oh, well, I did this for you, like, well, I did that for you, and like I love you so much, like how could you do this to me, and like using their extravagant ways of showing love and affection against you, and like making you feel bad for either not loving them back or not being appreciated.
Yeah,
or
like
something.
everything kind of has an hidden agenda. Like everything they do for you is almost used in a way to bring it back when like they might have did something that was shady. They're gonna bring it back and throw it in your face in order to kind of be on like we're on the same turf again kind of thing.
And like a good person does things out of like the kindness of their heart because they want to show love,
And they're not looking for something in return.
exactly. And that's where like somebody who's like a narcissist or someone who's love bombing you and is like toxic will be doing it with the idea of getting something in return, and like getting your vulnerability or getting whatever it is, getting something in return. So like it's so important to be careful with that, and it's so hard in the beginning, honestly, because it's so easy to like mix up the signs and not be sure, and like you know,
you want to see if someone's love bombing you, ask them, what are 5 things you love about me? And if the 5 things you're asking them what they love about you are not in depth enough to actually differentiate you from somebody else, then it's not valid. Like if you're gonna say, oh, it's because you're pretty, you're smart, but they don't have the actual definition of why, and it's just like adjectives. No.
I mean, yes, but also I think manipulative people are so fucking good that they will spin you the most beautiful, lovely, deep
but it's hard
shit.
to do that at the beginning when you don't know someone
for
enough.
Sure. For sure. Do you think that you've ever been like love bombed?
I don't really think so. Have I love bombed?
That's another question.
Well, maybe.
Yeah, but like I think it's different. I think there's a difference between like wanting somebody's attention and like actually love bombing someone to the point where it's manipulative. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I did both.
I've done it maybe once. Maybe once. Care to share? No.
Yeah, care to share?
No, I'm a new person.
Okay, she's a good soul.
I think that's why it's hard for it to happen to me, because I kind of I have been around friends who have done it, and also I've maybe done it once where I didn't know I was doing it, but then after got in tune with myself and I was like, okay, Lassie, that's what you're doing, that I'm able to read people well enough to know what's going on. Because I'm the first person, if you're gonna say you love me, give me the 5 reasons. Right. You know, like I just
guys, boys, pull out your papers.
Well, no, I feel like it's very hard for me to like take something like serious unless it's really like I feel it and like you can show me the path.
Right.
You know?
I agree with you. I think that I've been potentially like halfway love bombed in the past. And I wouldn't say like fully.
Guys, she was love bombed, and look how good he was.
Look how good he was.
Potentially halfway. Veronica, there's no halfway. A manipulator, he goes full force all the way.
He's so good that even all these years later, I still think it didn't happen.
But I think naturally, if you are a good manipulator, like,
oh yeah, you never know.
You kind of fall in that category a little bit naturally, because it's like you just. I don't even think you want to be a love bomber. You just kind of
happens. You know that what the response you're gonna get.
You know what you have to say in order to get the reaction you want.
Exactly, and that's manipulation. So for me, the way it happened, like he wasn't necessarily like extravagant, but he was like so intense about like the relationship so soon on. Like he always wanted to see me, he always wanted to know how I felt about him. Like if I didn't answer him fast enough, he would be like, well, do you even like me anymore?
That's a huge one. I think when someone has to see you all the time, like that's
expecting so much response from me so soon on, like not giving me the space, and like if I wouldn't respond to him, he would get like upset with me, or like starting little fights like that. And he put me really in this box of, it's like, well, you're either into me or you're not. And it was like a couple of weeks in that he was putting me in that box, like, and I even remember being like, whoa, like you need to chill. But because I liked him, I felt like I was in this thing of, it's like either I like go through with it, which I like him and that's what I want, but like I needed more time, or I lose him, because he was almost putting me in that like
and that's what love bombers do.
Yeah, they put you in that fucking like ultimatum of, it's either like you give me everything and all of you, or like I'm leaving,
and then the thing is once you're in the relationship, you're not just going to leave because of one fight, 2 fights, 3 fights. So it's like he already locked you in. You've already told your family members you're dating him. So it's harder to walk away versus someone you're just like being love bombed by, but you don't have the title with.
Exactly. And like I think that's what he kind of did with me is he really pushed me into a relationship that I didn't feel I was ready for, but I felt like I was going to lose him if I didn't commit.
Yeah.
And he was so like telling me everything like just all those things that a love bomber will tell you of like we're so good for each other, like I've never felt this way before, like all this shit. And yeah, so I think that's definitely what happened, and it didn't keep up, like we ended up being in a relationship and it was like super toxic.
Yeah,
So I
for
do
sure.
think that when shit starts to feel for you like, whoa, this is way too much too soon, and it's not respect. So I think that's the difference is when it feels reciprocated, that's when it's probably not love bombing because you guys are at the same place. So if it's 2 weeks in and you're both like, I'm not gonna lie, like I think I love you, and the other person is like, I actually agree, and like I've never felt this soon, but like I actually feel this bond with you, and it's something you're sharing, that's when it's like real. Whereas a love bomber, you'll always question yourself and be like, whoa, like this is kind of soon, and like, yeah, I do like you, but like, you know what I mean? And you're trying to like
feel
navigate.
it at the beginning.
Yeah.
You're trying to navigate it all, but you're just falling in the loop.
In the back of your mind that something's not exactly like right, because it's like, how can you be feeling this way if I'm not?
Yeah, that's so true.
I think that's really something that you have to look into. Like, are the vibes shared? Because I always say this is like the vibes are always shared with the right person. So you should always be somewhat on the same path. If not, like somebody's a little more behind, but they're catching up to you.
Yeah.
It should never feel like, whoa, like you're telling me you love me and like we're not even in a relationship
for sure.
yet,
for sure. And I rather somebody, I'm talking to is taking longer to get there than to be too soon on where it's like scary,
Right.
I think if somebody is waiting to tell you, it's because they're actually like picturing their life with you, and I feel like you're in a healthy, stable relationship, I think.
I also think that I would prefer that somebody waits and really means it rather than tell. And I know this is defying what I said with the gun to the head, but I would rather you wait and actually think about and actually truly love me when you say it than feel the need to say it because either I said it or because like you have the pressure of time or whatever, or because you're just saying it for whatever reason. Like I want you to mean that shit when you say it, So I do agree with you that I think it's actually makes more sense. I would prefer you wait longer than I would want than sooner.
For sure.
Because when things happen too soon, you feel like your choice is either to go along with them or you're going to lose that person. And because you like them, but maybe you're not at the same space as them, you feel the need to catch up to them. You know what I mean? You're not willing to lose so early on in the beginning where you don't see the flaws yet. You know what I mean?
And that's why I rather wait.
100%. Totally agree with you.
There's no too late. There's only too early.
There's a too late. There's a too late. I mean, look, if I'm dating you for a year and we're close and you still haven't said it,
I think that's a bad sign.
that's a bad sign.
But like, what's
And you say
what's
it
a
and then
worse
it's like,
side
I'm
though?
not ready. Bitch,
What's a
what
worse
the fuck
side?
are you waiting
Too
for?
early or too late? Like
I know
you
I
have to
just said
choose
too
one.
late, but like,
What's
if it's
too
either
early?
after like 1 month or 1 year.
First of all, what do you think like timeline wise is a good amount of time to say I love you? I know, look, it's really more depth than that, but like if
And
we
then
have to
it's
put
like,
a
are we
number,
counting the dating? Are we counting the in a relationship?
like in a relationship, you're finally dating. How long after?
Okay, wait, you're dating. Okay, well, it's hard for everyone because
Yeah,
some people
because sometimes you say I love you before you start dating.
Yeah, I think like I would say personally,
You meet this person. How long after?
I would say so if we're going with the 3-month
Wait,
rule.
and do they have to make you their girlfriend before you say I love you?
Tricky. Yes, ideally, but sometimes you just end up dating somebody and you never have the conversation of like, are we dating? It's just like we're dating now. You know what I mean? So tricky, but like
But like also ask me to be your
ask me to
girlfriend.
be your girlfriend.
Like I'm sorry, this
Yeah.
is a love episode.
like asking me the question. Pop the question, baby.
And don't do it on Valentine's Day, guys. I'm just gonna make that very clear. Don't propose on Valentine's
No,
Day.
you can say I love you on Valentine's Day. But like pick another day. There's so many
God,
days.
there's 364
You're gonna wait
days.
for Valentine's Day to tell me
You're
you
gonna
love
wait
me?
for the Hallmark event to do it? You're that not original?
Seriously, you needed Hallmark to tell you when to tell me you love me. It's
Here we go,
personality
now
right there. Here we go. Now you can say I love you on Valentine's Day. Jesus Christ.
I mean, look, I'm not saying no.
Okay, so for me, to answer your question, I think that at least 2 months, but I would say more like 3, because I think 3 months is when people
You
start
get to know
being their
someone.
true self. And there's like that whole 3-month rule that after 3 months, like people can no longer act and they actually become who they are.
Isn't that like 6 months though?
It goes in 3, so it's like 3
Okay.
months, 6 months.
So either you're a good faker and you could get through the 6 month period, or normally have to. I think 3 months is pretty fair.
I think 3 months is fair. 6 months is like okay, and then like anything longer than that is like okay,
Yeah.
like tell me you love me. You know what I mean?
Lie at this point.
Lie.
Figure
Lie to
it
me.
out.
Lie
But
to
if
me.
you're keeping me around and you don't want to say
The guys listening are like, I don't understand. You said wait to the time that I need to take instead of not meaning it, but now you're saying lie and don't do it on Valentine's Day and lie.
guys, do it when the feelings are there.
Do it when the feelings are there, and every relationship is different. But like of serious dating, I do think 3 months is like a sweet spot time to really get to know someone.
Yeah.
To feel comfortable. That person is probably on the same level as you.
I think I would agree. 3 months,
3
4
to 6
months.
months. Yeah. Even like the 5, 6.
Ooh, 5 feels long.
But 6 months feels long. But then again, there are some relationships. I had relationships that we waited 6 months.
You know
to
what?
say
It really
something.
depends. Also, like in the weeks, how many times are you guys seeing each other?
Yeah,
Like
how
there's
close you guys. You live together. Some people
sometimes
move in
it's
together.
like you're doing a long distance relationship and like you're always on the phone, so you're always like having that emotional connection. So like it really depends. But like I think 5, 6 months I'm a bit like questioning. I think 3, 4 months. It doesn't seem like it's that long, but when you're actually in a relationship, you're like, hey, when the fuck is he
in
gonna
a
say
serious
it?
relationship. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, hey, it took you 6 months to tell
Now
me you
I'm
love
pissed.
me.
Now you're telling me you love me, and I'm like, well, fuck. It's about time. I love you too. Fuck. Fucking idiot. What took you so long? Fuck. How long am I gonna have to wait for a ring?
You're
I mean,
never saying it again first.
I'm traumatized, and if I do say it's because it's by accident.
And do you think sometimes guys wait for a girl to say it and
Yeah.
like they'll feel it?
I think
But
men
they-
are a little bit more afraid of rejection from women.
Yeah, so that's why they kind of wait for the woman to say it first.
I do think
But
a lot of girls
also-
end up. I think more girls say "I love you" first than guys.
It's true.
Yeah,
It's
because
true.
women are seen as the emotional, vulnerable
Yeah.
ones, so it's easier for us to tap into our emotions and for it to be okay. Whereas men,
Well, men, it's like
be
they're
emotional,
pussies if they say I love you first.
it's
But like,
like,
if my girl
whoa.
said it first, then
it's like,
we're
bro, what do you want me to do? I dabbed her and I said I love you too. What would you do if you say I love you and your boyfriend says I love you too, bro?
well, smack him out.
Well, I'm putting on his boxers and his shorts and his sweater and I'm leaving, I guess, because I'm his bro.
I don't think anyone would say I love you too, bro.
What would you do if you say I love you and he says love you, but he's missing the I? It's like
Well, I would just say what?
first time I love you and he says love you too. Love you too.
I would say
We'll just say you
Well, I
lied.
would say wait, what? What did you say? Just make him say it 6 times.
Yeah, but he'll say love you.
Doesn't matter. He still said love you 6 times. You only said I love you
But
once.
he's leaving out the most important letter. It's the I.
I. Because you can love many people, but to be in love.
It's very different from to love.
Yeah, no, you have to say the 3-letter fucking word.
Oh, don't cheap me out. And don't make me ask for my I. Give me the I. Anyway.
What if they're
Sorry,
staring at you with the eye? Do they still need the eye?
Love you. That's not allowed. Don't
No.
fucking, if I say I love you and you hit me with a love you.
If any guys are listening, if a girl is saying I love you to you, just keep in mind that that's a very vulnerable state, especially when you've never said it to each other. Like she's really thought about that moment for a long time.
People
and
don't
like
just say it.
People don't just say it. Like they think about it. They're like, when is the best time? And especially women, we like to overplan everything. So if you're not gonna just like validate it, or if you're gonna make her feel uncomfortable about it, like guys, you really have to understand and like read a room,
Yeah.
you know, because it's just not chill. Don't go and like scream and shout like, "Ha! You said I love you!" Like,
No.
no, and don't make the situation into a joke.
Don't make this
Like
situation-
not that situation.
Imagine your boyfriend does that to you. You think he says I love you, but he's saying elephant shoe. And you're like, I love you too. And he's like, nerd. I said elephant shoe. Guys, I would actually, first of all, give me the gun. Give me the fucking gun. And I'm going down right after you. But you're going first. The police are going, what would you do if the first time they said I love you is over text?
Well, I don't agree with that.
delete their text and be like, sorry, babe, didn't get the text you said. And don't resend it.
Well, no, you'll just receive a FaceTime call from me.
What?
What did you say?
Say it to my face.
No. I'm
FaceTime.
sorry. The first time you say I love you has to be in person.
Has to be in person.
Or at least on the phone. Like, I'm not doing text.
Text is disgusting.
Well, text is like you have no balls.
Well, text is, yeah. You know what it is? You know what I'm tired of? I'm tired of people being afraid of vulnerability and then ruining the moment because they're so afraid of being
Preach,
rejected.
sister.
If you're going to say I love you, put your balls in your hand and fucking say it and own up to it, because don't ruin my fucking moment. Don't ruin my moment because you're a little pussy bitch.
And the balls are cupped.
And if you have big balls, 2 hands if you have to, okay? But you know what I mean? I hate when people are like, okay, I love you. Oh my God, I'm such a nerd for saying that. Like, bro, give me my fucking moment. Like, how do you want me to respond to that now? You know what I mean? Like own up to it. If you're going to say something vulnerable and nice, you have to own up to it, or else you're just, or else don't say it to begin with.
All I'm trying to say is, men, tap into your more feminine side when it comes to saying I love you. Normally, if a guy says it first, women are normally gonna say it after, because if you finally got to the state where you're gonna say it, the woman's been fucking waiting for it. So
Well, I'm not going to lie. I've been told I love you and I didn't say it back.
let's talk about that.
I said, oh, that's so cute.
And then
I've said this story before though, but I'm going to say it again because it's a classic. It's a banger, okay?
it's a banger. While you were banging.
Oh, it was a banger, let me tell you. So I was having sex with somebody who was not my boyfriend at the time. We were seeing each other, but it wasn't that serious. But we had been seeing each other for months on and off, you know, so it was unsure how much time we had really been dating.
Yeah.
And at one point we were having sex and it was like missionary, you know, and he was like, I love you. And I, you know, in the heat of the moment, kept my eyes closed and just pretended like I didn't hear. I just pulled out a louder moan, you know, like, and then, you know, tried to moan away the awkwardness. And then he was like, did you hear what I said?
I hate people like
And I
that.
was like,
no
what?
one misses that word. Like,
And I was like, what? Like, take the hint.
no.
Take the hint. And then he goes, I love you. And now it's like, well, now you called my ears to attention, so I can't pretend I didn't hear you. And I was just like, oh, stop. You're so cute. And let me tell you, the sex was not the same after that. He finished, to be fair, but like it was
He finished right after that.
we sat down beside each other like this.
No.
So
Did he talk to you afterwards about it?
well, I said, look. And he was like, I don't want to talk about it. I was like, look. And my excuse, guys, if somebody pulls out this excuse, they're lying. I said, I just don't tell people I love them.
Honestly, I like that one.
He's going, I heard you say it to your mom the other day, I love you.
No,
Yeah,
I like that one because it's an easy, like, you didn't win my heart just yet. Like, it's you're skating through.
No, it's not.
That sounds
It's
very
not, I'm
much
not
like
there
something
yet.
I would say.
It's not, I'm not there yet. It's, I'm never going to be there because I don't tell people I love you. So I could love you. I could not, but you're never going to hear from me.
Yeah, but at least you're generalizing it with, like, you're making him feel good in the sense where, like, you don't tell anyone you love them. If you would have said,
Like, you're in the boat with everybody else,
you're in
baby.
the boat with everyone else, so, like, you can go cry with everyone else. Instead of, like, I don't love you, is like, there's a boat of people I love, and you're not in that boat. I think you're really nice, honestly. That's very smart. Looking back, I see what you were doing.
Thank you. I had not.
I had not thought of that.
Every other pump after he said I love you, I was thinking about what my excuse was. Let me tell you, there was no more moaning going on for me. I was like, what the fuck do I say when I have to address this? How the fuck do I fix this? It was like lights on and everything too. It wasn't even like darkness.
I don't know why you're always
I
having
couldn't even
sex
pull
in
like
the
a
fucking
rollover.
light.
Close the light.
Close the lights. You're always having sex
Close
in
the
the fucking
fucking
daylight.
lights.
No kidding, these relationships are going nowhere.
He's looking into my fucking irises while he's saying I love you. I can't even like pretend that it's not like what? Hi,
My God.
My excuse me, the light was in my eye. I couldn't see. We're in the doctor's office.
God. Anyway, guys.
Breathe in, breathe out.
Veronica, you're not here to show anyone one of your sexual preferences.
Guys, role plays, they're just so funny, man.
You guys, a couple of episodes, Veronica didn't want to share her favorite role plays, but
I didn't. But I have to say, though, I want to just say one thing before we wrap this up, guys, because I know there will be role playing going on Valentine's Day. Role plays, they are just so funny because you start doing the most whack ass shit that you're like realistically, a doctor isn't like, they're not putting the thermometer in your pussy. You know what I mean? But like to do the role play, it's like, can you remove?
So I guess,
clothes?
guys, there's only one way to end this podcast. Veronica, I love you.
You're so cute. But I just don't tell people I love them.
You know, that was even like, I had to mentally get myself ready for
Mentally. Well, you're in you're in
Which
the boat
boat?
with all the people that I didn't
that.
say I love you
okay.
to.
I feel okay. I can
It's
go
you
bond.
and one other guy.
I can go bond with them. I'm not in a boat alone with nobody to talk to.
You have some friends.
You're so nice to ship me with the friends.
It's not you, babe. It's me.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this week's episode of Do You Love Me? I love you. Say it back. I said it. Now say it.
Write in the comments if you love us. They're like, I literally don't. But thank you so much, guys. Happy Valentine's Day, and hope you get fucked, ducked, and said I love you back.
Oh my God.
And no dollar store chocolates.
So basically, I'm looking for a beautiful love Cartier bracelet. If you want to show your love for me, it's not that much.
Guys,
I'm asking
why say
for the
I love
bare
you with
wit of
your
it.
mouth if you could say I love you with a ring.
You know what I mean? And you know what? I will be the first one to say I love you. If
You
you
wanna
come
love
with the
bomb me?
You want to love bomb me with a love bracelet? I love you, babe. And if you don't say it back, I'm leaving on that boat. And guess what's coming on that boat? That bracelet. Anyway, guys, I love you. Say it back.